noise. Let me move.
Yes, I'm Victoria with Grayson Crisis Center.
Grayson Crisis Center. Is that correct?
Yes,
Where are you located?
in Sherman, Texas. I was just returning your call.
You're returning my call.
Yes.
Okay. Well, how can you help?
What were you needing?
Police target me and control my environments. I have 20 false arrests. My family's scared to be around me. I don't really have a lot of support to get out of this crisis which involves the police department, multiple. And there's so many people that cover for it. I'm sorry?
What area are you in? What county?
I can relocate. I'm in Fort Worth. What's your name?
Victoria.
Victoria? Okay.
Yes. So we are actually a domestic violence sexual assault facility. So it would be for someone that is
What they tell you, ma'am?
dangerous.
What they tell you, ma'am? What did they tell you about my experience, ma'am? Because you said we're actually a sexual assault. What did they previously tell you, my abuser? It involves the police department.
They never told me.
So I'm not quite sure what you were told prior.
I wasn't told anything.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know why you would just assume, like everybody else.
No, that's not what was going on there. I didn't make an assumption. I'm just stating what we do.
Oh, okay. How can you help?
It just depends on what your needs are.
I'm sorry?
It depends on what your needs are.
So I get these calls. I know my experiences aren't realistic, so I get these calls when I'm having a better day. And then they torment me on these calls to ruin my day. No, it's been happening years, knowing no one would ever believe it. She's not going to help. But let's see what her con is. Okay, ma'am. Can you tell me how you could help? My calls are controlled. I'm sorry? How can you help? How can you help? If you know that there's police involvement, I don't know what you offer. Is it a problem for you to tell me what you offer to advocate? Don't you advocate for women? If you know police are involved in the abuse? That's how you know there's stage calls.
That's how you know what?
Oh, I was just talking to myself, ma'am. I asked you how you could help if there's police corruption in my abuse. Multiple false arrests. Have you heard of anyone with an experience like that the police department is involved in their abuse?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so do you know how to combat it then?
Well, it's just going to be different with these individuals.
Ma'am, are you there?
Yes.
This call is odd, ma'am. Did you call to help?
I was just returning a call.
Okay, I told you about the experience, and you said that you've had situations where the police had involvement in the person's abuse, and your responsibility is to advocate.
Yes.
Okay, so how can you help?
Well, I have to hear what has occurred.
You want me to tell you again?
Yes, please go a little slower, though.
Okay, a little slower. Okay, my abuser is able to enlist the police department in his abuse. I have 20 false arrests. There's crimes to keep me away from my child. Each time I have get help, they come interrupt with criminal trespasses. They entice people in my environments to conceal their crimes and not give me any help. People in my environment.
county do these things occur?
I'm sorry?
In what county do these things occur?
They're happening all over. You sure you called to help?
Are you sure that? Well,
So it's a lot of psychological abuse that's not realistic that I don't really talk about. She was sitting on the phone.
and who is the abuser?
I'm sorry?
Who is the abuser?
His name is Jason Gardner of Vivid Images from Louisiana.
Jason Gardner of
Vivid Images, Baton Rouge. He's been railroading me 5+ years that I'm aware of. My life has been odd for a very long time, but that I know of, definitely I've been railroaded 5+ years.
and the actual county that the abuse occurred in.
I'm sorry?
What was the actual county the abuse was occurred in?
Can you repeat that?
The county.
The county what, ma'am?
Yes.
I don't know what you're asking, ma'am. What county?
And
The
what
county for
county?
what?
Where you experienced it.
I'm sorry?
Can I call you back on the better line?
No, that's okay. You're not really talking. You're not really speaking, and then you're talking low.
All I'm hearing is a lot of feedback.
Okay, so you're asking me what county? What do you mean, what county?
The county that you were in.
It happens in all counties. He breaks into my phone, hacks my phone, controls my environment. My family's scared to be around me. There's been hit and runs. Someone intentionally hit me and then got caught in lies because I get gang stalked. And the police cover for everything. They cover for assaults, being trapped on trains and buses, on camera footage. Multiple people a day used to threaten me, assault me. It was too many people. And then they would pretend like they know me and then blame me for what they were doing. But I never had met these people. So I was getting gang stalked. I didn't know what gang stalking was. So I'd ride the bus and they'd come insult me, degrade me. If I'm sitting down somewhere, someone will come threaten me. You know, it happened too many times, so I believe someone was setting it up. And he loves mind control and psychological abuse. That's his thing. So he loves to torment. He gets off on that. Yes.
Is he
So
currently still in Louisiana?
I'm sorry?
Is he currently still in Louisiana?
I think so. But he runs the police department and my devices are hacked and the police department covers for it. Because if good people get a whiff of, find out what he's been doing, you know, this is really outrageous events that these powerful people were able to get away with for so long. So he has to control my devices and make sure I never report it to him. Knowing full-blown well no one would ever believe my story. But you don't call all over the United States 5 years for people to conspire with you, the abuse, as well as cover for it. It's not normal. But I did ask you how you could help.
Well, I would have to schedule an intake, and we'd have to go over it step by step.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure how I would help in this case, though.
Okay. You said that you've had an experience where there were police involved in the abuse. You said that you had that. So is there a particular reason why you can't help with this one? Like no one has been able to for 5+ years that call me on my phone, my heck phone?
Well, I'm just returning the call.
I'm sorry?
I said, I'm just returning the call that you placed to me.
I'm not quite sure why you can't help, ma'am. You called. There's nothing at all that you can do? Are you denying me services?
No, I'm not.
Okay, well then why can't you help? You assume that it wasn't it was no sexual abuse like everybody else. They need to know the sex life.
Let me place you on hold. Hold on.
No, ma'am, let's not place on hold. I want to go ahead and I want people to be incriminated. They always place me on hold when they incriminate themselves. Pause it. Okay. It is 11:50 the whole time. For the time I've been on the line. Oh, someone else got on the phone?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't. My calls are always like this. They're psychologically abusive because you go through the long spill, and then they put someone else on the phone all the time. It happens so often. I'm sorry?
Victoria said I might be able to help you better.
Oh, that you may be able to help better. Okay. Did she tell you what I was going through, that there was police involvement? I have to repeat myself?
You don't have to repeat yourself, but would you tell me what you're looking for, what we can help you with today?
Yeah, she got off the phone when I asked her what she could help with. She kind of didn't expect me to confront her about her knowing about whether it was sexual abuse or not. Like a lot of other people, they just assumed like someone had already prearranged the conversation. So I asked her, who told her that? Because a lot of people do that.
So what is kind of assistance are you needing today?
I'm not being heard, ma'am. I asked her for advocacy.
I'm sorry, you're kind of cutting out. You asked for what?
Advocacy on how you could help. And for 5+ years, people keep on wanting me to tell them what they can do.
I'm just trying to get you to help me, but I don't know what it is. Can you tell me what you're looking for today?
I don't know how you could help. Are you unwilling to tell me, advocate for me like the role requires? You're unwilling to advocate if police are involved and tell me how you could help? Because if you're having a good day and someone calls you and then jangle services by you and then knowing full blown, well, at the end of the call, you're never going to get them, that's psychologically abusive. But that's what's happened 5+ years when I do finally get the call. They can never help. But I don't understand why you can't advocate. This is for women fleeing abuse, and you don't want me to know how you could help? You want me to tell you how you could help in a domestic violence crisis that involves the police department?
I would like to know what's going on and what you are needing help with.
Everything that you can help with. I've been asking for a long time, in fact, a lot of different places, on how they can help, and they refuse to tell me. They play mind games. I'm sorry?
We're located in Blatant County.
Okay, if I have an abuser that involves the government, how can you help? And hacks my phone illegally.
I'm not sure exactly the details of your case, but have you come into our shelter, our facility before as an intake?
I'm sorry?
Have you been to our location and talked to an advocate?
Are you an advocate?
Have you been here?
Are you an advocate? Are you an advocate?
I am an advocate, yes.
Okay, well, can you tell me how you could help when it involves the police? I need the education on my abuse experience because it's been withheld.
What's your first name?
I'm asking for education, ma'am, first. Is that okay? Is that okay to advocate for me and tell me how you could help? Because people have withheld that for years.
So, do you have a pen and paper? I can give you our address.
I'm sorry?
Do you have a pen and paper? And I will give you our
Okay,
address.
you don't want me to know how you can assist me when the police are involved in the abuse. Is that correct?
I'm trying to assist you. that you're not wanting to
It's my fault.
questions that
I'm not wanting to answer the questions. It's psychological. It's on purpose. I know people wouldn't believe me, so I didn't really talk about it. Mind games. He's sadistic. Okay, ma'am.
Right.
So it's my fault you won't tell me how you can help, and I've told you that it involves the police department, and you want to be callous and blame me for you not telling me how you can help. I thought in your job task you're supposed to inform the person of their rights and advocate. You called to help and you won't do that knowing that there's multiple different false arrests. Each time I talk to someone that calls me, they're covering for my experience and then blaming me for it, even family. You there, ma'am?
I'm here. It's just every time I try to talk, you're talking up.
I'm cutting you off, ma'am. Okay, well, I'm sorry. Go ahead, ma'am. I asked you how you could help.
I can give you our address. You have a pen and paper?
So you only want to give me the address and I asked you how you could help? So the fake CPS worker used to go off on me, yell at me. This is when I wasn't recording. I knew something was amiss and he likes mind games. So she's on the phone. She's refusing to tell me how she could help, like almost everybody else that calls in. Do you have housing, ma'am? You want me to go to the website since you refusing to advocate? Ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you want me to go to the web page since you refuse to advocate for me?
I was going to give you our address in case you wanted to come in and sit down and talk to somebody.
Okay, out of all the people I've called, DOJ, Department of Justice, the hotline for witnesses, all these people I've called, multiple different domestic violence organizations, the CIT team, no one has called me back. Just you. I called I called NAN, National something for civil rights violations, and you're the only party that called me back, ma'am. Someone that don't want to tell me how they can help. This used to be really devastating to me because I was at the edge of my seat, wanted someone to finally help me, and then they played mind games, knowing that their intent was to never do it.
If you would like to come in, we'll be glad to sit down and talk to you and get you some help.
But I'm asking you, ma'am, before I get all the way down to Sherman, I don't know how you got the call to call me back, and out of all the people I've called in the United States, I hit the jackpot, the lotto, and you returned the call. But it is what it is, ma'am, and you're refusing to tell me. I think that that's a breach of your job task, because you're supposed to advocate for women in abuse, not condone it and then blame them for it.
Well, I've tried to give you our address. I'm more than happy to set up an appointment if you'd like to come.
You don't do. Let me look at your website, because I thought that you were supposed to do a safety plan. I thought that you were supposed to educate me on my rights.
There's really not much more I can offer for you today.
I'm sorry?
Today. Our address is 42.
Did you give me the website, ma'am? And you're refusing to advocate for me and let me know how you can assist me when the police are involved? Okay, you don't want to do a safety plan? You don't have a crisis hotline? I'm sorry? I'm sorry? She hung up. Call ended. So I just didn't think that people would believe me. He loves mind games. A CPS worker used to call me all the time, and the way that she talked to me, called me 2 times in one day. You're going to lose your daughter. You got it. You got it. Yelling at me like that. And I was hysterical and, heartbroken because I'm trying to tell them about the government's crimes. So I went to the police department. I started recording her, and I let the police, I can't think of his name, and Tyler. They got caught in lies, and he gave me a criminal trespass. She said she had a state-issued cell phone, and that was the only thing that I can call her on. I couldn't call to the CPS location. So at the time, I didn't have the YouTube channel, so I just realized that I had to record these people and let them hang themselves. Because I've been trying to do everything I can to expose it, and I'll just let them, hang themselves.